Touch him up. Respect, respect. Touch him, Bernard. Let's go, let's go.
Impress me at all.
Hard right hand over the top by Hopkins. As De La Hoya learned, up on that front foot.
He's on the mark, and Hopkins' job is to keep him off the mark.
Hopkins backs away from their first chest-to-chest clinch. Hopkins tries to go inside again.
Bernard Hopkins want to keep hugging and pushing this guy.
Hopkins again lands a right. Trinidad misses his. Hopkins lands his own. Trinidad threw a limited number of punches for him in round one. Now he lands a right hand. Hopkins
Expecting the first couple of rounds. Very surprised.
Campbell Morgan's Trinidad early.
Just jumped right on him. He said he wasn't afraid. Knowing that he's intent.
Hard right hand by Hopkins. Biggest blow of the fight. Trinidad momentarily stunned.
Bell, 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 bell. Bell, bell, bell. Hopkins has been working at distance with his jab, hoping to get.
Work the jab. Work the jab. He tries to get started with it here.
When you see him up on his right foot like that, he's on the mark, getting ready to deliver like a.
How do you keep him out of that position?
By moving to his left, so he always have to pick that foot up and set it down.
Hopkins says he'll be watching his feet.
Leading with the left hook there instead of the jab. Now Trinidad fires his own right hand across the top and gets the top of Hopkins' head.
That's what you don't want, letting your back touch the rope with Trinidad.
A .com gambling service and then bet the $100,000 on himself to win the fight.
Here in round three.
But Bernard Hopkins isn't fading.
No, and the bet looks pretty good.
And he's making Trinidad think about coming more to him.
Okay, Jim, I got a 2-1, 29-28. And Bernard would take that step to the right and rush in. It's either put him on the way out. But
Trinidad opens up, lands two power shots. Hopkins tries to fire back immediately. Trinidad misses with the right. Hopkins lands his own. Backs Tito up. Trinidad getting as good as he dishes out. Now lands the short right hand inside. Power against power. Which man is stronger?
Well, perhaps he's realized so far that.
No, that punch can't be dealt with, Larry. You got to stay smart.
He has begun to fire here in round four, but he's had pockets of brilliance.
Off the neck, off that.
Bernard, once again, is spending too much time on the ropes.
Hard right hand by Hopkins, lands flush. Continually moving to his left to stay away from Trinidad's left. Hopkins misses the right, Trinidad misses the left.
Make him miss with the right hands.
Of standing in front of Trinidad. He hasn't done much of that.
Used a lot of his footwork, legs up, moving around. That's not good.
He's got his back against the ropes. He's living dangerously. He's still outscoring Trinidad. They fight after the bell, and Hopkins dishes out twice as much.
This is the kind of champ, Trinidad, that you're going to have to knock him out to win it. You may as well forget trying to win this thing on points.
Which is a very low punch output by CompuBox numbers. Now Trinidad lands a big right hand against the ropes. Remember Trinidad's amazing stamina. Hopkins lands a right, Trinidad lands a left. Felix is a marathon runner who builds the tempo from round to round, and he's trying to build it with the left hook right here. 4 straight left hands by Trinidad. But Trinidad's countering it. What are the signs that he's wearing down?
He went to his ring, to his corner, and laid his legs flat out. Trinidad is still sitting in a sitting position.
Hopkins looks pretty good here. A furious pace in round 6. By far the best round of the fight.
Back to the ropes again, Hopkins. because every time he hits you, you are still lingering on. The damage lingers on and starts to accumulate.
4 rounds to 2, 58-56.
Well, Hopkins is giving him the left hook because if he's able to land one jab and stay a little closer, get him keep it flat. That's what you want. If he's going to hit you, let him be out of position to do it good. Ooh, fainting.
Chopping right hand by Hopkins.
Vulnerability of Trinidad.
If you go by CompuBox numbers, Hopkins has outlanded Tito in every round.
Few fights. We're hearing about him and seeing him now. A geriatric wonder.
Tito gets him against the ropes.
I'd like to see what happened in the 10, 11, and 12 with the geriatrics.
Neither man came here tonight expecting to lose. Hopkins believes. Whether Trinidad will be able to beat the belief out of him remains to be seen. But right now, Bernard has skills as he continues to outbox Tito.
I don't believe what I'm seeing. I don't believe it.
And now Trinidad shuffles his own feet to try to dazzle Bernard, and Bernard says,
Playing into Hopkins' hand now with the foolishness.
Tito. Neither man has gone to the body as much as he might. Maybe the critical difference will come in the next few rounds if one man decides to focus on the ribcage.
He's gone out of the window now.
Trying to break Bernard down with power shots. Hopkins countering back twice with the left hook.
Lay on that left hand of Hopkins once. He's going to get him with that overhand right. All about the best fighter who can take it.
Harold Letterman gave Tito Trinidad the first round, I think, generously. Now, even on Letterman's card, Hopkins can stand up the rest of the way.
Trinidad has tried. That's where he can ring home if he can just get him in.
He's just refusing to bend to Tito's will.
Maybe he should have.
What Mark Antonio Barrera did, walking into big punches, he came out. We're seeing that.
That's the big surprise of the night.
Without a single penalized foul.
A shot.
The closest we came was Trinidad elbowing Hopkins. Bowie Fischer tells Bernard Hopkins if he keeps firing the jab.
That's what he's been trying to do all night. That's what he's waiting on.
Trinidad got in a good shot on Hopkins' neck. Bernard lands a straight right hand up the pipe.
He was able to hit him with the right hand and move out of the way.
And there's another big right hand.
I'm going to get you some more, hit you, and get out of the way.
And another right hand for Hopkins. This is a cold, clinical decision.
7 rounds to 2, 88-83. Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins gets off first every time he lays the jab with a straight right. We think Felix would come in on an angle. Gets off first and hurts him all the time.
It depends on that. He expects that somewhere along the way, it will play the difference. And if it doesn't...
Trinidad got the left hand on. He's leaning on the Hopkins' left hand now. That's what he wants. Puts his weight on your left hand and throws his overhand right. Oh, Hopkins beating him to the punch, though.
You know, George, Trinidad has landed some big shots, but he hasn't hurt Hopkins. After the Joppy fight, there seemed to be no question about Trinidad's viability as a 160-pound fighter, a middleweight. But maybe the question reopens itself as the result of the way that Hopkins has been able to take Trinidad's punches tonight.
Trinidad is spending a lot of himself right here because he's been taking punishment. We're seeing the heart of a real champion in Trinidad because he's punched with some serious fire.
This is the determination of Felix Trinidad.
Trinidad is going to have to take some chances.
And it's being matched by the determination of Bernard Hopkins. What an awesome show. What a great, great fight as we come down the stretch in the 10th round.
Blood coming out of Trinidad's nose.
Most of the crowd on its feet as they watch the two fighters trade through the round and beyond. 14 times in his career. Trinidad 8. Hopkins with a prohibitive lead on Harold Letterman's scorecard as we come to the last two rounds.
Careful with him, he's still that powerful puncher.
This is another huge round. Trinidad has landed maybe 2 punches in the round. Bernard is taking target practice. Trying to lift their man. Hopkins just keeps pounding away. Astonishing.
He's bound to disappoint you.
Big right hand by Hopkins.
Disappointed us, Larry. He's go for safety and get a knockout. You just can't trust judges.
Well, Hopkins still wants to fight. Trinidad without success. Hopkins imposing his will and his skill on the man who is tonight.
Trinidad continues to come.
Oh, huge right hand. Huge right hand by Hopkins. Down goes Trinidad. He's never been knocked out. This fight is over. Steve Smoker stops it. So physically beaten up in his career, never before knocked out, goes down in the middle of the 12th round and cannot continue. As Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard, the executioner, Hopkins.